Murder on the Sussex Express. The Sussex Express rolled along the charming countryside, its wheels rhythmically clattering over the tracks. It was a typically misty morning in early autumn, and the hedgerows were flecked with rustling orange and gold leaves. Passengers on board the train were oblivious to the malevolent undercurrent that lay just beyond the sound of its journey. Inside the first-class carriage, the atmosphere was one of congeniality. Gentlemen in tailored suits discussed local investments, while ladies in elegant dresses sipped tea and shared gossip. At the center of it all sat Lady Clara Hargrove, a well-regarded heiress known for her beauty as much as her sharp wit. With delicate features and a charming smile, she could light up any room or, in this case, any carriage. As the train wound its way through the picturesque English countryside, Clara flipped through the latest society magazine, her deep blue eyes scanning the pages idly. But her attention waned when a sudden commotion erupted at the back of the car. A man, dressed in a dark overcoat and hat, rose suddenly from his seat, his face pale. He staggered toward Clara, eyes wide in terror. "Help! Someone!" He was about to cry out, but instead, he collapsed onto the plush carpet, blood pooling around him. Panic ensued. Clara sprang from her seat, her heart racing. The other passengers gasped, some stepping back in horror, while others rushed to help. Among them was Inspector Arthur Lennox, a man of medium height with sharp, assessing eyes that had seen their fair share of crime. He knelt beside the stricken figure. "Stand back, please," he ordered, pushing aside eager onlookers. Perhaps it was the air of authority that emanated from him, or perhaps the palpable fear that filled the carriage. Either way, the crowd complied. "This man needs attention," Lennox said, checking the pulse of the victim. Then he grimaced, realizing it was too late. "He's been stabbed, and I can see no chance of revival." In an instant, the mood shifted from intrigue to horror. Clara's eyes flickered over the assembled guests, each face a mask of shock and confusion. Was it simply coincidence that they were all now entangled in this blooded drama? The train began to slow, the conductor's voice crackling over the intercom. They would be stopped at the next station for an investigation. "Ladies and gentlemen," Inspector Lennox addressed the passengers, his voice firm yet calm. "I need you to remain in your seats. We must determine what happened here." He stood and surveyed the scene, taking note of the other passengers' expressions, cataloguing their reactions. Among them were Horace Channing, a notorious gambler known for his dubious connections; Miss Beatrice Lindley, a wealthy widow with a penchant for melodrama; and Mr. Edmund Grant, a secretive writer who often resided in the shadows. Inspector Lennox approached these figures with keen scrutiny. "Does anyone know this man?" he asked, gesturing to the victim, a striking man in his 30s, dressed impeccably, but now lifeless. "I've seen him in London," Beatrice said, her voice trembling. "He's an art dealer, I believe, Maxwell Hughes." "He was due to meet me," Channing interjected, wiping the sweat from his brow. "We had a financial arrangement." His voice lacked conviction, each word dripping with implication. "He was a charlatan," Edmund sneered, folding his arms defiantly, fleecing artists and patrons alike. "Good riddance, if you ask me. Was it worth killing him for? That's what we need to determine," Clara interjected, her composure beginning to falter. She moved closer, peering at the wound, a clean stab to the heart. Whoever the culprit was, it had been a calculated act. "I've seen him in London," Beatrice said, her voice trembling. "He's an art dealer, I believe, Maxwell Hughes." "He was due to meet me," Channing interjected, wiping the sweat from his brow. "We had a financial arrangement." His voice lacked conviction, each word dripping with implication. "He was a charlatan," Edmund sneered, folding his arms defiantly, fleecing artists and patrons alike. Good riddance, if you ask me. Was it worth killing him for? That's what we need to determine. Clara interjected, her composure beginning to falter. She moved closer, peering at the wound, a clean stab to the heart. Whoever the culprit was, it had been a calculated act. As the Sussex Express finally came to a halt, a long wait ensued for the authorities to arrive. The tension in the cramped carriage built like a tightly wound spring, settings for accusations and defense woven into whispers beneath the once genteel discussions. Interrogations unfolded, with Inspector Lennox methodically piecing together the narrative. Channing attempted to play the innocent, while Beatrice found herself embroiled in unexpected emotional outbursts. Clara, observing their exchanges, suddenly had an epiphany. The pieces of their personal lives were knitted together with fraying threads around the victim. At last, as the sun slipped higher in the sky, illuminating the thickened fog, Clara summoned her courage. "Inspector," she said, standing tall with newfound resolve, "I believe I can shed light on the murder." All eyes turned toward her, curiosity awakened. Breathless, Clara laid out a timeline that connected each suspect to Maxwell, revealing secret debts, broken promises, and an illicit affair. "Maxwell kept you all entangled in webs spun of greed and betrayal," she concluded, her voice steady. "But the question remains, who had the motive not just to confront him, but to kill him?" After an electric silence, it was Channing's face that betrayed him, a twitch of a smile that flashed soon. "You've whined an interesting tale, Lady Hargrove, but such stories are often fabrications of desperate minds," he attempted to dismiss. Yet the colors drained from his cheeks when Inspector Lennox, now emboldened by Clara's deductions, revealed a hidden dagger, the murder weapon found tucked away under Channing's seat. "Your golden opportunities have caught up with you, Horace," Lennox declared, as officers appeared to take the gambler into custody. As the train resumed its journey, passing the serene fields and dappled sunlight, Clara, alongside Inspector Lennox, felt a strange sense of camaraderie with her surroundings. They had unraveled a sinister plot, a tale of treachery born amidst the ivy-clad walls and shimmering landscapes of Sussex. And all of it, she realized, had been born from secrets, betrayal, and human greed aboard the Sussex Express. I would appreciate it if you would click the subscribe button if you enjoyed the mystery story.